Thanks, Matt. Thanks for coming. So this will be pretty brief, and hopefully it'll be helpful to everyone competing in the high school hack. We're just going to go over some of the details, some of the information about what high school hack is, and then I will go over an example of how hack usually happens. I'm going to go over that example with a player named Connor Brown, and hopefully that will be instructive and helpful to all of you making your preparations for high school hack happening later this month.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks so much, Garrett. And, by way of introduction, I'm Matt Wilkes. I'm a teacher at Garth Webb Secondary School who's working with a group of students who are at the school facilitating this competition. And we're so lucky and delighted to be working with students from the Sports and Entertainment Law Society at the University of Toronto Faculty of Law. So we have Garrett Yao, who is a very accomplished law student and someone who has been, intimately associated and taken the leadership role in facilitating the law school edition of this competition that we draw the lineage from. And we'll get into that afterwards. But, he has so many insights, and we're really delighted to offer this to students and teachers who are interested in participating in this competition. So take it away, Garrett, and feel free to let me know when you want me to switch slides.
absolutely, thank you, Matt. And Matt has been too kind. The students at Garth Webb Secondary School have been absolutely incredible in helping us bring this to the high school audience. And we genuinely think there's tremendous value in competing in this competition, whether or not you're interested in hockey, in law, in business, or really just in learning oral advocacy, which is something that is becoming more and more important, regardless of what career you end up choosing to go into from this point on. So let's jump in that first slide. So what is hockey advocacy, or arbitration as the word is used in the NHL world? It's a mechanism in which an NHL hockey player and his club ask a third party arbitrator to decide the player's salary for upcoming seasons. So in an arbitration or in hockey advocacy, each side, player versus his club, they make oral and written submissions based on a player's career statistics, which is objective, and comparable players who were in similar circumstances as that player when they were going through salary arbitration. And this provides a whole picture for this third party arbitrator to understand what that marketplace looks like for the player going through arbitration so that they can determine what salary most appropriately fits that player for the upcoming seasons. And this is an objective discussion, objective advocacy, which sounds like an oxymoron, but the statistics are really what drives this process. So both sides, player and club, will be using a very similar set of statistics, but the way they frame those statistics is really key to each side trying to argue whether a player should, for example, make $2 million in the upcoming season or $3 million in the upcoming season. And the arbitration mechanism really provides an NHL player with a lot of leverage and bargaining power that they wouldn't have otherwise in a negotiation for his salary. Because normally a club would be able to tell the player how much he's making, and the NHL player would have to accept that contract value. And so arbitration and advocacy really levels the playing field. So the origins of high school hack, as Matt kindly mentioned before, the high school hack is modeled after the annual International Hockey Arbitration Competition of Canada, or HAC, which is hosted by the Sports and Entertainment Law Society at the University of Toronto Faculty of Law. The club has been hosting it for about 10 years now. I believe our 10th edition is coming up. And it has really been a marquee event for students across North America and around the world to compete in this simulated environment with a lot of great industry professionals listening and giving feedback to a lot of these competitors. And I, for one, had the privilege in competing in the national hack a couple of years back when I was a first year law student. and had a great time. So as you can see there, a pretty old photo of me from a couple of years ago when I competed at Hack. And that was really an eye-opening experience. To this day, one of the most valuable experiences in law school that I've had. And that became a really big launching pad for me to then, the summer after my first year in law school, to actually work for the NHL Players Association to do exactly what all of you will be doing here at the high school hack. And essentially, I got a chance to make kind of this practice, this mock simulation, a reality for myself, and really help out the players in this arbitration process and really understand how this mechanism works and really see the value that it brings, not just to the hockey players themselves, but to this entire industry. And so um, we thought at Cells and with the help of Matt and Garth Webb, that the high school hack would be a perfect avenue for people to learn more about this very unique intersection between advocacy, law, and sports, and for high schoolers to experience it before they enter university, before they start to think about their career options, and really just have a chance to sharpen their skills in this very unique and exciting environment. And the high school hack is exactly that. It's a simulation that allows high school competitors to become those advocates for the player and the club in arbitration. You're essentially sharpening oral advocacy skills, which are important for any future career path. And you would be doing what sports lawyers do when they engage in this process, which is a very exciting proposition. So the high school hack details, and I'm sure for those of you who are watching, for those of you who are thinking about it, probably have some way of finding this information, mainly on our website, hockeyadvocacy.com. But just to run over them quickly, any high school student can participate. Just sign up on our website, follow the instructions there. Competition is really revolved around hockey advocacy, but as Matt has mentioned before, and as we continually stress, no prior knowledge or genuinely even interest in hockey is required. This is an oral advocacy competition where you can learn how to how to sharpen and practice your advocacy skills, which will be so important no matter what you do. Most of our national competitors at the law school level either don't wish to go into sports law specifically, have little to zero knowledge or interest in hockey itself. But they all do very well throughout this process because they learn and they find the feedback so valuable for when they go on to do moots and mock trials outside of the sports setting and then eventually onto their careers. So the dates are March 26th and 27th. It will be hosted virtually. The entry fee, we thought, had a great opportunity for us to also give back to charity and help out grassroots sports organizations. So we've chosen 3 charities that you can find on our website. The entry fee is a $40 donation to one of the 3 charities so that we can also help give back to kind of the sports world at the grassroots level. And the format is 2 preliminary rounds for each team on March 26th. So competitors in teams of 2 would be representing the player in one of the preliminary rounds and then the club in the other preliminary round. And then the top 4 teams after that first day will advance to a knockout style tournament on March 27th. So the case this year for high school hack is a player named Adam Pelech, a defenseman with the New York Islanders. As you can see there from his statistics, he came into the league prior to the 2015-16 season, and he has been with the Islanders the whole time. Adam Pelech is one of the premier young defensemen in the league, and Adam Pelech, much like many young hockey players in the NHL, went through the salary arbitration system. Pelech went through it prior to the 2021-22 season. And so this mock this salary arbitration competition reimagines that summer when Adam Pelech went through salary arbitration with his team, the New York Islanders, and asks the competitors of High School Hack to become the advocates for either Adam Pelech or the New York Islanders, depending on which preliminary round and matchup you are in, and advocate for why Adam Pelech should get a certain salary that you deem fit, whether or not that's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, whatever it is, as long as you can look at those statistics, look at the players within that marketplace and find a place for Adam Pelech to be in, whatever number you choose will have some say in how the arbitrator views Adam Pelech's contract. So it's really an exciting proposition for any young students to think about how this could possibly impact the real world if they were doing this for real. Adam Pelech, much like many other young hockey players, spent their lives honing their craft, playing hockey, trying to get better and better, and they're in the league. And now is kind of their reward, the things that they've worked so hard for. We want, as the hockey industry, player or team, regardless, we want to be able to put a just and fair value on the player's contributions leading up to this point, and to fairly compensate him for the player and the on-field, on-ice contributions that he's made. So that is the case. It is Adam Pelech. Most of the information, if not all the information, will be given to you in a case memo that will be distributed when you sign up to compete at High School Hack. So most, if not all, of the research will be done for you, and you can really just spend a lot of your time looking at the statistics and the data and a lot of the advice and tips that is also included in the case memo to develop your arguments and to spend your time practicing how to deliver your arguments to the arbitrators so that you can be as convincing as you can be. So with about 10